Here we have the SJ X300-1. Now this is going to be a low-cost, Wi-Fi enabled FPV quad. So it's going to transmit its video stream to your phone. You're going to be able to see what the quad sees as you're flying it around. This one is also an X5C knockoff. That means it flies very stable, it's very maneuverable, and pretty reliable once you get it up in the air. Now what sets this one apart from the Syma X5C? This one has headless mode, so if you're new to flying, headless mode is going to help you out on that. You're going to set it in headless mode, and forward is always going to be forward on the controller, backwards is always going to be back, left and right, and vice versa, no matter what the orientation of the quad is. So that's very helpful for beginners. Also has one key return. Now this isn't like a GPS return to home feature, it's more of when you turn it on, it's gonna set a headless mode bearing, and then when you hit the one key return, it's gonna fly backwards to the transmitter. This one actually has 4 rates on it. The X5C only has 2, the high and the low. This one starts off in Speed 2 as it's labeled on the transmitter. Now Speed 2 is basically gonna be comparable to Speed 1 on the X5C, and Speed 3 is more like the high rate on the X5C. Now when you go to Speed 4, that one, it gets very maneuverable and can whip around quick, gets pretty acrobatic. Very stable flyer in all the rates. Speed 1 is basically going to be ultra beginner mode, and that's going to be helpful if you're just starting out. In Speed 1, it's not very responsive, so even if you're giving big inputs on the controller, the quad is doing very smooth and slow adjustments. A little difficult to fly in Speed 1 outside because it's not very responsive, but it's meant to be more of a beginner mode in that speed. So when you're first starting out, Speed 1 is going to be very forgiving. You're not going to give it too much input one way and it's going to go flying into a wall or off into the distance or whatever. It'll give you nice, easy movements, very slow in Speed 1. Excellent mode for beginners. I recommend that if you're just starting out, you've never flown before, start out in Speed 1. It's going to help you learn. It's going to be very forgiving for you, and then you'll be able to move up to the different speeds on this one. You're going to be able to grow with this quadcopter. You start out, you've never flown before, you're in Speed 1, and then as you get better, Speed 2, a little bit better, Speed 3, and then you get more advanced, Speed 4. So this one does have the 4 different rates, and the yaw rate changes on those 4 rates. In Speed 1, the yaw rate is going to be very slow, almost painfully slow, but this is to help beginners fly around. Speed 2, it's going to increase a little bit, Speed 3 a little bit more, and Speed 4, it gets pretty quick. This one's got the PlayStation 2 style transmitter, and haven't seen too many of these ones. I kind of like it. It flips in 4 directions, and it has a button for each direction to flip in, so you're not going to have to give it input in whichever direction. Once you hit a flip button, you just hit the flip button and it's going to flip in whatever direction the button you pushed it goes in. I like flying this one around. Definitely an excellent flyer. You can fly it through obstacles. I've flown it through the playground, in and out of the jungle gym and things like that. Flown it from very far away. It's a very stable, very precise flyer. It gets excellent range from my experience. I have not flown this one out of range. Haven't tried to fly it out of range either, but being that it is a Wi-Fi FPV quad, I've been somewhat hesitant to fly it too far away from me. The video signal back to the phone is pretty good from this one. Definitely cuts out here and there, but pretty stable for the most part, and I've flown it a decent distance away from me and gotten a good signal. The picture quality is right on par with any 0.2 megapixel camera you're gonna get out of these Wi-Fi quads. Plus this one comes in at under 50 bucks, so you can't really complain too much about that. While we're talking video, let's talk video files. It records the video files straight to your phone, and those are recorded as AVI files, and they're easily accessed on your phone. But when you're trying to share these on social media, I've tried to post clips to Instagram. Instagram does not like the codec that these are recorded in, so a little bit of a difficulty sharing on social media with this one, and that's kind of a bummer because that's one of the big pluses of being able to record to your phone. You don't have to hook it up to your computer or whatnot and upload to social media that way. In theory, you should be able to upload it straight from your phone, but this one records to an unusual codec, and I've had a lot of issues with this codec. even when I've gotten on the computer, I'll drag the files onto the computer, they will play on the computer, but once I try to drag them into some professional video editing software, doesn't seem to like them. Now I have found a way around that. I downloaded a free program called TE encoder or tencoder. I'm not exactly sure how you say that. I'll have a link in the description. Basically what this is gonna do is re-encode the video files into something a little more video friendly for your video editor. Another drawback to this one is the downward facing angle of the camera. Now you tend to shoot a lot of ground footage unless you're very high in the air. So you tend to get a lot of ground footage just because of the angle of this camera. Would have been nice for them to have included some sort of adjustable camera lens. Even a little bit would have been better, but it is what it is. You could definitely find a different way of rigging this onto the quad and probably get a better angle. One simple way I found you can improve the angle of the camera is just to unlatch the battery door and just kind of let it fly like this. Now it definitely doesn't look great when you're flying around like that, but it gives you more of a straight on angle and you don't necessarily have to mess around with anything permanently on the quadcopter. So in the wind, this is gonna probably blow around a little bit and not be the most stable solution, but I have flown around in pretty good conditions with the door like this and gotten good results. So something to try if you wanna get more of a straight on angle when you're flying around. It's got nice bright LEDs underneath. It's got white in the front and a red and a green in the back, which is a little unusual, but not too much of an issue. The camera has a giant red light inside it also that tends to light up the entire back half of the camera. So pretty easy to keep orientation at night. Definitely a night flyer. Kind of fun to watch it fly around at night with the lights all lit up and everything. The back LEDs seem to blink the entire time you're flying. I think that's like an orientation type of thing to help you see it a little bit better. Kind of unusual. Almost makes you think you're getting the LVC warning, but it's just a little unique thing to this quad, or at least it is on mine. And then when you actually do get the LVC warning, all four of them will blink. Speaking of LVC warnings, the flight time on this is about 6 to 10 minutes depending on what kind of conditions you're flying in and how aggressively you're flying. As far as charging time goes, it's going to be just under an hour in the 50 to 55 minute range, so not too bad. This one does use a battery with a JST connector. It is a 600 milliamp hour battery and it has the JST connector. Another small issue I had is with the battery bay, there is this one little plastic bar that kind of goes across and the battery kind of tucks in between the board and this little plastic bar. So a little bit difficult to get any sort of larger battery in this one. I do have the 650 milliamp hour batteries from the Sky Viper V950 that I tried to fit in there and I could not get them to fit in there with this bar. So you could probably cut it out and it wouldn't affect you too much. Maybe your battery would be flopping around a little bit more, but you could definitely do that if you want. Let's talk about the app real quick that you're gonna use for FPV. The app is called SJ FPV. This is a free download from either Google Play or the App Store. It works very well. The quad will create its own Wi-Fi network and then your phone will connect to it. And once you're connected to it, you can see what the camera sees on your phone. So definitely a fully featured application to go along with this. Didn't have any issues with it. Seems to work very well. So to sum it all up, the SJ X300-1, excellent quad, kind of perfect for everyone. If you're a beginner, it's got a perfect beginner rate for you. If you have more experience, it's got some very acrobatic modes. That speed 4 is definitely very quick, gives you a lot of pitch, gets it very acrobatic in the air, very precise, very stable flyer. You get the Wi-Fi FPV on your phone. You get headless mode, you get 1 key return, all for under 50 bucks. And this is a decent size quad for you. Comes with the prop guards, get a good flight time out of it. Really got a lot of good things to say about this one. So that's all I got for you with the SJ X300-1. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up. If I missed anything, hit me up in the comments below. Give me some feedback. Let me know what you think of this review, what you think of the channel. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. It'll give you updates on what I'm doing. Gonna have some exciting reviews in the future. Got some good stuff in the works. So that's all I got for you today. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Happy flying, everyone.